supposed to be the beginning of my adulthood was pretty much trash before I even reached adulthood. I mean, I didn't join any activities in high school. I mean, I did join the photo club, um, which lasted a week because I was too terrified being around people. I was the last person people would talk to unless they wanted to yell at me or insult me or bully me. Um, so, um, when I turned 18, or actually, I was 17 when I graduated high school. So I went, but and graduation was such a weird time for me because this was the first and only time both sides of my family came together. My parents are divorced. They were divorced since I was 2. I was one of those weird kids that didn't give a fuck why my parents divorced because um, I didn't see how. I don't understand how they got together in the first place. I just didn't get it. So, um, but my mom and dad were all here, and so this was the first and only time my mom met my sister from my dad's side. Um, and it was just a weird time, but even with that, I still felt alone. Even around, it's one of those things where you can surround yourself with thousands of people and still feel completely alone. Um, Graduation was an accomplishment, but at the same time, it was loneliness because it truly reminded me how alone I really was. I mean, I went through. You're supposed to graduate with your friends. I didn't graduate with any friends. I mean, yeah, my family was there, but still. And so, and I was worried the whole time, because I'm a klutz. The whole thing I was worried about the whole time is when you, because before even graduated started, we all had to go there early to the line up in alphabetical order, which took a long time, because there was hundreds of us, in the auditorium, and then we had to move out in alphabetical order outside in the middle of the field. Yeah, that I hated that because that really got my people focusing, looking at me. That I can't stand it. It makes me nervous. But anyway, so when these seniors graduated, class of 2003, they were graduating with not just their family, but every fucker they knew. I never had that opportunity to make friends. I was too afraid of people. And maybe this was something I should have dealt with, but at the same time, maybe I thought I was shy, or I knew I was shy, but I never knew I had actually social anxiety. And it only got worse the older I got. Which is odd because I'm talking now. But imagine me doing a video like 15 years ago. I wouldn't say a word. I was almost a mute. I didn't say anything, especially in middle school. I would never say a word during the entire school day unless a teacher called on me to answer a question, I had a question, or that's pretty much it. I never really made friends at all throughout my whole life. And I'm just now realizing that I was pretty much alone my entire lifetime. Because I'm not that person that can just make friends with anybody. I have to connect with them. And that's what I prefer. I prefer connection, a bonding experience. That's kind of what I want. I can't just chat with every single person I see. Because chances are those people are never going to be your real friends anyway. But anyway, getting back on track, I went to high school, or college, when I was 18 at Holy Cross. Um, this was the first time where I was, of course, independent, and this scared the fuck out of me. I mean, I was terrified of doing anything on my own. And but I kind of forced myself to try to talk to people, and apparently it worked because I ended up making several friends. Although second semester that started to backfire. I don't know. This was something that I got caught up into. Towards the end of the first semester, there was a few of my friends started to fight, which I wasn't originally into. Actually, if I remember correctly, this started in December. And then somehow I got caught up in it, and then we went from hanging out together as a group to just hanging out separately by second semester. Um, Second semester was my worst. I was sleeping in more, missing my classes, um, or simply being late for them. It became obvious I was sad all the time, sometimes for no reason at all. I remember going to one party. This was one of 3 times I would ever go to a party. And trust me, I was a nervous wreck the entire time. I this was when I guess I started being aware that I thought that maybe something would be wrong with me, because I know there was these 2 straight guys, straight guys fool around all the time. So they were pretending to be gay and, acting gay, whatever. I don't know if some straight guys pretend to be gay for whatever reason, just for the fun of it. I mean, I know for a fact they weren't. In fact, I think some of them had girlfriends anyway. They were like holding hands and like skipping around. I do remember this. And then I remember a girl, one of my friend, it's one of those friend is a friend person. Anyway, I remember her saying, well, that's gay. And then I was like, this is, I mean, I've heard my stepmother saying that's gay too, which brings me, but hearing it, from other people, I was thinking maybe there's something wrong with me, because by this time I knew I was gay. So I would eventually start getting depressed over that. This was when my sexuality issues were starting to get um, um, a lot more kind of a bigger problem in my life. I just, but you know, I, in even with that, there would be some days where I shut down, where I would be so depressed I didn't want to talk to anybody. There was one day I locked myself up in my dorm room, not wanting to go out, despite a few friends not leaving the door for quite a long time, because they tried to get me to leave. It's just that, I know I'm kind of going off. It's just that, basically what I'm trying to use this kind of vlog for is that I never had an adult life. Never. I may be an adult, but I never had an adult life. And I'm really starting to feel heartbroken over this. This is kind of why I want to talk this and get this out now. I feel heartbroken that I never had a true adulthood experience that I was supposed to have at that age. I mean, even the college that I went to wasn't my choice. It was my mother's. I wanted to go to Joliet College, or Joliet Junior College, which is in Illinois. Now, the problem is that when you move into the dorm, you had to pay an electric bill every single month. And, I, you know, this is kind of one of the rare things that, um, one of those situations where the real me comes out, because when depression takes hold, over your, sorry, I'm scaring people outside and I get sensitive, hoping they don't hear me. Um, it was one of those things where my real self was coming out, because depression kind of clouds the person who you really are. But I was willing to get a job. I was okay with working. Um, I, I was, okay, yeah, I did ask for her to at least pay for the first month. So, um, just because I haven't, I would be going on campus, obviously without a job, but hopefully within that first month, but things just didn't work out. I ended up going there. And so this is kind of what started my adulthood on the wrong track, because I let other people make decisions about my life. And I felt, and even in college, I don't remember who told me this, but someone told me, it was someone that I was hanging out with at the time. Someone told me that they were worried about me because I was very submissive. I will always do what people tell me to do. And this became even more and more of a problem as I got older. This wasn't a thing that stopped in college. Ugh, it's just like, what the fuck